SBLive Washington 2021 virtual media days for the high school basketball season, connecting with boys and girls coaches and programs and players throughout the state. I'm Dan Dickau alongside Andy Buhler. We're joined by Ingram out of the Metro League in the Seattle metro area, head coach Joe Hardy and standout player Ja'Von Ervin. Thank you guys both for joining us. Coach, I'm going to start with you guys. The Metro League has had a chance to get started before a lot of other leagues across the state. How refreshing has that been for you guys to actually get out and play some basketball because it's been such a long break?
It's been awesome. You see, even in warm-ups during practice and our pre-practice 10 minutes beforehand, kids are just happy to be back on the court, back inside. For us, we were outside all winter long in the cold weather, so just for them to step back inside in the court is exciting. And then getting on the court to play against teams other than their teammates is fun. They're competitive as all heck because they're happy to be back on the floor. So that's good.
Ja'Von, you've made tremendous strides with your game throughout the course of your high school career. You've gotten off to a heck of a start, averaging right around a double-double. What do you attribute your success early in this year to?
Honestly, back to what Coach Joe was saying, like how much work we put in during the summer, like all time during COVID and stuff like that. And just like staying ready until the season comes, because you never know when it was going to come, So we just stay ready, practicing, all that.
Ja'Von, throughout this long off season, you guys replaced a lot, graduated a really strong group of seniors last year. When you guys are gyms are locked, things are shut down, and there's the longest off season you probably ever will experience. How are you able to keep everyone tight and kind of keep the team with their eye on the prize of playing this season?
And it was just the love for the game, to be honest. We all want to get back on the court, love the game. So you just keep playing, keep practicing, training until that time comes.
Joe, this is your first year as the head coach after a couple years in the program. What was your emphasis this year with this group in a year where, you're not competing for a state title, you're not competing for that gold ball, but you just happen to be playing in probably the toughest league in this region in the Pacific Northwest?
Yeah, the biggest emphasis, like you said earlier in the previous question, was how much we graduated last year. So we have a whole new batch of guys that don't have a ton of varsity experience. We also have a lot of quiet guys on our team. So it took a while to get them to be louder. Saw last night's game. The bench was as loud as it could possibly be. And our seniors, Ja'Von, especially Ja'Von, Ronan, and Charlie, our three captains, our emphasis going into the year was we need to develop leaders and we need to play together. The Metro Championship is still on the line. There's 4 teams from each division making the playoffs. We're still playing for a title. So there's something to play for. These seniors didn't get a ton of playing time last year, as much as they should have at least. So they have a big chip on their shoulder, and we're here to guide them along and hopefully get Ja'Von to go places beyond high school. There's a lot to play for, even though there's no state title on the line. Just to see his kids grow and into leaders on and off the court it's been awesome. It's been fun to see. We're only through 3 games.
Coach, kind of to piggyback on that question that Andy asked, with this being your first year as a head coach in the Metro League, I know you've been around Seattle basketball for a while, but how good is the Metro League, and how excited are you to kind of, mix and match your X's and O's against some of the other coaches?
I'm very excited when you have a guy like Ja'Von, you're drawing up X's and O's for, first off. Last night was a perfect example of that, but it's unbelievable. I mean, 2 nights, last week we played against Nathan Hale. Augusto had 38 points against us, and it wasn't an easy 38. I thought every shot he made was a tough shot, highly contested, hand in his face. But you have that on a night in, night out basis. Last night you play against Isaiah Watts and Taylon Sessoms. Tomorrow night we have Braden Smith and Kyle Colissimo and Tyler. It's just night in, night out. You have to prepare for not only great players, but then you have great coaches too, with guys that are legends in Washington basketball. That there's so much that goes into each game. And it's credit to these kids too, that for them to be able to adapt to different game plans night in, night out, adapt at halftime as we did last night. It's fun. it's hard, but I love it. I mean, I study basketball night in, night out. I watch games. I talk to college coaches. So I learn as much as I can, and it's fun to be able to see these kids adapt to it on the fly.
Ja'Von, Seattle basketball is a well-known product across the country. People know the history and guys like Jamal Crawford and giving back. Brandon Roy, obviously coaching now at Garfield. But with this current group in Seattle being as good as they are, is there one particular maybe matchup or team that you're most looking forward to going against this season?
Yeah, I would like to see some of the Western like schools down south, but one team, probably Garfield.
Any particular reason why? I know they've got a really talented roster. Is there one guy that you'd like to go against, or just the aura and the tradition of Garfield?
Just the tradition, like I have a couple guys over there, that play, we're all cool and stuff off the court, but for the most part, just teams. It's honestly not just particular Garfield. I would say like O'Day, it's just some of the known powerhouses in the Metro League.
Ja'Von, you were kind of handed the keys to the Ferrari in this offense this season. What kind of things did Coach Hardy do to empower you and just let you know and that, give you that confidence to be able to run the show and build things around you?
Yeah, Coach Joe, I mean, he told me just be patient with it, like he tells me not to be too unselfish, but just go, get your teammates involved and just you can do it. Saying good coach.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here in front of your coach. We've been asking, most every player that we've talked to about this. I know this is just his first year in the big chair, but is there one thing that Coach does where if you see him do that, that you or the team, you guys screwed up, you're in for it, you might be running?
Shoot. Sometimes like a Pacific mess up,
no, like is there something he does, like a jacket throw or a stomp or anything?
No,
maybe not that dramatic, but
yeah, he's not that dramatic, but he'll give you a stomp here and there, you know what I'm saying? He'll give you something like that.
Awesome. Coach, I know it's been a short time in that head chair, but what do you feel is going to be your go-to attention getter for your team?
Defensive end. We're huge in Metro League. Yeah, keep people out of the paint. So we are a huge help side defense team. If we do that like we did in the second half last night, we can play with and beat anybody. In all honesty, I have zero doubts about that. And that's where at practice we spend 60 to 75% of our time on the defensive end. Individual defense, help side defense is just an emphasis of ours. That grabs our attention. Last night definitely grabbed our attention that second half. I feel like that we turned a corner big time there. Growing as a team, and if we need to grab something with them, it's all hands on deck with Laker drill defensive wise. We'll put them defensive slide back and forth, back to back, and A, they're tired, but B, they're getting a lot out of it, and it shows in games.
Awesome. Well, last question before I let you guys get going. Favorite sports movie, both of you. We'll start with Ja'Von and end with Coach.
I'd say for this purpose, Love and Basketball.
Right on. That's a good pick.
I got two of them, and unfortunately they're not basketball related. But one of them's, I'm going to call it a sport, a rounders. I'm a big poker guy. I love moving rounders. And secondly, I have a bad play professional golf. So one of my all-time favorites is Tink Up. So you can't go wrong with it. The story at the end of him not giving up until he gets over there, gets the ball over the water is such a cool story. I love it.
Beyond you, real quick, I know he said last question, but who's got the best handicap on the team, coach or players?
Definitely Coach. I mean, these guys talk. Some of them talk up a good game, but they can't hold a candle out there. That's for sure.
Awesome. Well, I know there's a lot of good golf courses in that Seattle area and that you will get to eventually, but right now your focus is on finishing out the Metro League season, getting to the playoffs and making some noise. So for the SBLive Washington crew, Andy Buhler, myself, Dan Dickau, thank you guys both for joining our virtual media day.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for all you do for high school basketball as well.